Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome your faces back to some Prison Architect. It's been a little while since we've played this on the channel, but I'm excited for two reasons. Number one, Paradox Interactive is not the publisher of this game. That's not to say that Introversion was bad. It's just weird that so many of the games that I play are published by Paradox. I love Paradox, it's just weird. The second reason is that I have a really fun idea for Prison Architect. We're not going to build a prison. We are going to build a super happy fun time summer camp. And I wish I was joking. I'm not in the slightest. That's actually what we're going to do. This is probably going to be a little bit of a slow burn series because I want to do a lot of planning. I want to figure things out, and I want to use some modifiers to make it a little easier in some respects and a little bit tougher in some others. So without any further ado, let's create a new prison. So right off the bat, we are going to be playing as Safara Aknova. That's going to be our warden. And this way, we get a small cut of the resale value of each piece of contraband that is found. And prisoners found with contraband will be fined directly from their savings. We are going to have Fog of War. We are going to generate forests. I've turned off the failure conditions for a good reason. Gangs have been enabled, and staff needs have been enabled. Those two are going to make things a little bit tougher, but that's not all. We also have more contraband, which is going to make things a bit tougher to deal with, but it's also going to make us a bit money, so it's sort of a double-edged sword there. Going down a bit further, we are not going to have any reputations get revealed to us when prisoners get off the bus. We will need to figure out what they're about. We are going to have wild growth, and we're not going to have contraband limits. So again, anything can be smuggled in, but anything can be sold. Again, a bit of a double-edged sword. And then wild growth, if you watched my previous Prison Architect series, you will know what this does. It means trees go crazy. And I'm kind of okay with that because it's a fantastic way to make money. We're also going to be playing with a large map. So again, without any further ado, let's get to it. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to go in and I want to take the basic detention center grant and I want to take the administration center grant so we can get $55,000 right there. And today is largely going to be about planning because I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things need to be built for this to work properly. So we're going to have a big perimeter fence around our camp. And just for the record, we're not going to be referring to anyone in here as a prisoner or a guard. They are campmates and camp counselors is what they are. And yeah, we're going to have a nice big secure area. And the reason for that is that within these walls, we can look after all of our happy campers is what we can do. So I do want to have a nice big secure-ish run up to a nice big main building. So we're going to go about 31 there. And we'll have sort of a main sort of, what would you call this, administration building for the camp right there. And we'll run a couple of, we'll run some kind of like hedge or something down the middle here, something to make it look a little bit nicer. We're also going to want to put some gates on here so that no one can sneak into camp when they shouldn't be. We're going to want some road gates down there as well so that, you know, no one can sneak in or out when they shouldn't be. You know, those campers always trying to escape, always trying to go out for beers and the weed late at night. You know, you can't be having them going out for the old devil's lettuce, Satan's parsley, jazz cabbage. You know, it's you just can't let them do that. Anyway, what we'll go ahead and do is this sort of thing. So we have 3x3 there. What I'd like to do is go back by about 15, I'm going to say. And about 15 here as well. Go 3 up and across. And this is going to be a reception area. This is essentially going to be where everyone comes in and they can have a grand old time. And off the sides of the reception area, I want to have some admin stuff. So that's where we can do like a corridor like this. And if I remember right, we're going to need some offices. Now, an office needs to be 4x4. So if we go back to planning, what we can do is say that this can be 6x6, and that'll give us 4x4 in the middle there. We can do 6x6 there, and we'll do the same just down here as well. So we'll do 6x6 and 6x6. Then that right there should be 11. That right there should be 11. And that'll give us a bunch of offices, which is fantastic. In fact, I kind of want to do the same thing on this side as well. So 6x6 and 6x6. And essentially, we're going to try and keep this a little bit symmetrical. It's not going to be the most exciting building in the world, but that's kind of okay. Now, what I want to do in this middle space is I'm thinking maybe a big old staff cafeteria, because staff are going to have needs. That is something I enabled as well, I think. I might not have actually done that, but that can be sort of a staff cafeteria. And then up here, perhaps we could do an area where some kind of holding cabin, I like to think. So holding cabin plus maybe a small communal shower, just in case it's needed. And then we can just continue this sort of around the back a little bit. And that gives us room to expand the admin area should we need to do so, which we may very well need to do so. So let's get some doors on to those bits. We'll get some doors just over here as well. And again, you know, our campers are going to come in, they're going to go to reception, and then they're going to come out into the camp itself. And I'm thinking what I could probably do while I'm planning all of this is go into intake and say fill to capacity with medium security prisoners only. Sorry, campers only. And we're going to want to start laying out the fence here as well. So let's start just placing all of this down. It's not going to be too expensive to do this. It's going to take a bit of money, but it's... Fortunately, fences are like really cheap, so we can just go ahead and lay all of this out just nice and quickly. And then I can unpause and let my handy folk go to work doing their thing. So there we go. We'll unpause. We'll let those guys come in and do their thing. I do want to change some of the room stuff, though. So take out those. And then what we're going to need is a deliveries area, which I'm going to say is going to be right here. And is going to be 2x30, which is not big enough, amazingly. Okay. Didn't realize that had a minimum size. That's news to me. All right. We may... Really? Do exports have a minimum size? 1x3? I genuinely didn't know that. Okay, we might need to change this up a little bit then. Let's go ahead and we'll cancel the fence that we've got planned here. And we'll put it just there instead. And then we'll cancel the fence down here. And we'll bring it in there instead. And then on this side, I want to do exactly the same thing and just take it out a little bit further. Like that. And if we go in, we can take out the... planning, just like so. And then we should be in a spot where I can go and say deliveries are going to go from here by 30. So 1x3, there we go. I might have actually been wrong on this. Just thinking about it, I might have been wrong on this. There's a possibility that because I was paused, it was doing that. But whatever, that'll be deliveries. And then garbage can be down here. Going to be 3x30 as well. And then we're going to need exports. We are absolutely going to need exports, and those are going to go just across the road here. And that's going to be whatever size that happens to be. And that should be totally fine. That'll keep everything we need in one handy area. And I'm totally fine with that. So we'll let those guys build while I'm doing some more planning, because there are a lot of things to plan. We are going to need to get our hands on quite a few different things. And one of those things, I think, is going to be... Well, for one, I want to put pathways in here, so I want to mark those out. So we'll bring some pathways through here and through here. And what I want to do is go, say, 15 that way. And I want to go 15 that way. Then from this spot, I want to go, say, 30. From this spot, we'll go about 30 as well. And then down here like this. So this is going to be a yard of some sort. This is going to be like a closed in. It's going to have exercise equipment. Going to have all that good stuff right in the middle there. And we could probably just put a couple of pathways straight through it as well, so that it's not, you know, so you don't have to go around it, basically. So that's going to be a yard. And then on the other side of it, I remember right, that'll be 13 there. So on the other side of it, I want to go 13 by 13 there. And I want to do another big sort of path like this, because this is going to be where our canteen's going to go. And our canteen is going to be the area that we also have, what are we going to call it? It's going to be referred to as the solitary thought chambers is what we're going to call them. So this idea that we're doing here, this whole camp thing, it came about on a live stream a couple of days ago. And the idea was that I wanted this cafeteria building to look a little bit like sort of an old school American style courthouse. So like with the pillars out front and all that. But obviously in Prison Architect, that doesn't really work because you don't really have that view to see the pillars. So it just looks like boxes. So I figured that's fine. We'll do this and these can become the solitary thought chambers, I guess. Now at the back of this, which this is going to be the cafeteria, I do want a nice kitchen. So the kitchen can go and be, honestly, 15 by 10 is probably fine. I want to do some space up here as well. So something like that. I want to bring a corridor down here and across there. And then this space can roughly be divided in half, which I think, did I actually manage to do there? 8 and 7? No, but that's fine. That's going to be a cleaning cupboard and laundry space, essentially, so that our campers can clean their own clothes, which seems fair enough. And back here is going to just be like a little extra secure entrance to all of that space. So that is 1 and 2, like that. And what we can do, door there. We can do a door there. Door there and there. And then staff access to the kitchen can be there. And let's say there, why not? And then for the front of this building, it's going to be pretty simple. We're just going to do double doors at the middle, and we'll do double doors at the top as well. And that's essentially going to be our cafeteria, our cleaning, our laundry, our kitchen. We may very well have a staff kitchen and staff cafeteria over here as well, but that's going to sort of bring everything together. And we can go in and put in some paths for all of this space too, so that we can get a pretty good idea of what it's all going to look like. This is all going to be quite expensive to build. You can now maybe see why I wanted to do the whole thing with the trees and all that. But I also want to bring some paths around every little bit of this, just so that if anybody wants to walk around, they absolutely can. They can have a nice time walking around that building. This building over here, not quite going to be the same thing. We don't really want people walking around that. But then we need to figure out where exactly the cabins are going to go. And what I'm thinking with the cabins is we're going to have them in the corners. They're going to be way out here. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I do a nice 8 by 8 square right there, what I can do is bring a wall in like this, a wall across like that, and then what we do, door right there, we have shower, toilet, we have drain, bunk bed, we have sofa, we have TV, we have bookcase. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a cabin, but that's not all. We are going to have hedges and hedges. We are going to have a pathway. We're going to have a pathway go down the middle. And then opposite this, exactly the same thing. So hedges, front wall, 8 by 8 space, which is going to have the door on this side. It's going to have everything just sort of flipped around. And then you've got shower, toilet, sofa, what would that be? Bookcase, TV, bunk bed, drain. So that is going to be the layout for all of the cabins, right? We don't have cells, we have cabins. And I want to do that up there and also down here. So what I think we'll do is we'll eventually copy and paste this whole thing down to this corner, but I do want to lay it out. So let's very quickly, 3, 4, 5, let's very quickly just draw out more of these. So that's going to be 8 by 8. That's going to be hedge, gap of 2, hedge, then 8 by 8. I've gotten very good at drawing these, by the way. I've done quite a few of these. I did a bunch of them on the live stream that I talked about, and I did a bunch in a scrapped recording that I did of this idea, which was interesting. I did a recording of this idea that I recorded for like 2 hours, and I was thinking I would turn it into like one video, and I got to the end of it, and I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right, because I skipped over a lot of the planning, and I would draw out one thing and then cut, and it would be built, and it was so weird. But that's fine. Anyway, what I'm thinking we can do here is we can extend this pathway the whole way along, and we can connect it to here, just like that. We can extend it here as well, and then we can put stuff in this, like, square right there, which I think will be really cool. So I want to do the same idea up here, and I'm very tempted to put these paths in sooner than later, because the trees will completely overgrow everything if I don't. So that might actually be something we want to do. Let's go ahead and just put more fences in here. So fences are going to go right up to the doors there. We can do hedges in the middle space there. I think we'll do some grass sort of in between them. And I reckon, I don't know, paving stones leading up to the front of the camp, something like that. Paving stones are a little boring, but they'll do the job, I suppose. So that can all be built, but I think I will try and spend a little money here to lay out these paths before the trees get too crazy. And again, this will be pretty expensive, but paving stones are 10 per square versus, like, I don't know, ceramic floor that would be way too expensive. I don't think there is anything that's outdoor that is super expensive, which is good, but the paving stones are simple, they're expensive, but they'll do the job. Oh, sorry, they're not expensive. So yeah, we can just throw all of these in here, get this entire area paved, and it will at least give us an idea of what it's all going to look like. So all of this space, all of there, down to here, across to there. And I think all of that is roughly paved at this point. This pathway down here is going to need paved as well. And if I'm totally honest, I actually want to do this thing here where I put stone around the outskirts of the paving stones, because it actually makes them look really nice and is, again, a little bit expensive, but that's all right. We'll put some in those middle bits as well, just to nicely border it. We'll put some around the edges here and up to about there, so it nicely borders it. We might want to put some inside some of this space here, so something like that, again, to nicely border everything. Very expensive, this particular process, for what it's doing, but it is going to let my workers move around faster, it'll let the campers move around faster, and that's kind of what's important. So that's kind of what we're doing. Let's just go ahead and bring that to there. And I think these areas in here aren't going to be touched right now. That's kind of okay. This whole area back here, I think I do want to do something with. So we'll bring some paving through here. Just again, so we can really see where everything's going to be. So we don't have to worry about trees sticking up through all of our paths later on. I think it's just going to look a little bit better. So we'll do all of that. It's going to be a process. It's going to take a while, but we'll get all of that done. And I guess while all that's going on, we can look into some of the other grants. Because again, this is kind of going to be a planning episode, but we are going to need a medical ward at some point, just in case someone falls and hurts themselves. So medical, I think, could go in its own corner. We're also going to need maintenance at some point as well. So let's figure out both of those things while construction's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do medical as like a 10 by 10. Let's do like a 12 by 12 space. Let's do a little extension of it that's going to be 10 by 6. Yeah, we'll do 10 by 6. This is going to be the, what will we call this? The deep sleep chamber where people will go if they have way too much fun at camp and eternally pass out, basically. We could put our psychologist's office over here as well. That might not be a terrible idea. So I think we will do that. And essentially what we'll do is put a nice secure door there, and we'll have a staff door here and a staff door here. And I guess a staff door there as well. So that's going to be our medical space. This will be the deep sleep chamber. This will be the psychologist's office. And that kind of keeps that out of the way. Now, how I'm going to connect that to everything is another story. Not really sure. This is where things are going to start getting a little bit less symmetrical. And I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest. We can bring this over like this, I suppose. And then bring it down like that, I guess. And that'll sort of work out. So we'll get that built at some point. And then maintenance is going to need to go in its own space as well. So again, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do a, I don't know, an 8x8 room. 9x9. Let's do 9x9. We'll do 9x9 there. And then utilities, we have this. And we have this, which can have a capacitor. And water pump needs to go. Does this need to be inside? I'm not actually sure where the water pump needs to be. Might need to be inside. I'm reckoning it needs to be inside, but that's fine. We'll get all that placed as well. We do have a slight breach in the fence down here. Totally forgot about that, didn't I? So fence right there, please. And it is up there and it is up there as well. All right. So where are my workers and what are they doing? Are they putting the... What are they doing? Oh, there's a lot of deliveries coming in. Oh, they're putting this in. Fantastic. All right, we'll let them just kind of continue doing that. I think what I will do is maybe get my hands on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more of them. So that all that work can be done. So they can start putting the pathways in and all that stuff. And what else are we going to need? So we're going to need... Obviously, cabin block A is totally achievable. Maintenance is going to need a few offices. That's fine. Visitation. They're going to want to have their families come visit. So let's put visitation up this way. So if we go into planning, we want to make sure they can't get too close to their families. Otherwise, they're going to be tempted to leave camp, which we can't allow. So what we'll do is we'll put a 20 by 4 space there. And we'll do a corridor that can go like this. Like right up to the side there. That's going to be quite secure. And then what we do is put a door, and a door. Then a double door down here. So the family is going to come in and go through this double door into a visitation space. Now the visitor tables, if I remember right, are 2 by 3. So 2 across, 3 up. So if we go to planning objects, we want to go 2 by 3. Leave a gap, 2 by 3, leave a gap, 2 by 3, a gap, 2 by 3, and a gap, 2 by 3. And then what we do is we put walls in between all of these. And this way we can keep everybody separated without having to actually use the booth thing that's in the game by default. Looks like I'm going to need to move all this down a little bit as well, which is totally fine. That is easy enough to do. Just take out all of you guys. And we want to go just up like this. Bring a wall across. And this way we can have 5 groups of visitors at any one time. Which seems like it's fair enough. That seems like it'll work. And I think what we'll do on this side is a similar thing to the back of the building. Which is going to be sort of a secure entranceway for the campers to come through. So they come through, they go through there, they funnel to the table. These guys funnel through that way. Everything should be fine. That will keep everybody nice and happy. And we can bring a pathway down like this. And that works for me. That seems like a pretty good visitor space. And like something we can totally... Actually, looking at it, we can totally do this as well. So that kind of thing. Yeah, that'll totally work. Now, I realize we also need we need a parole office at some point. You know, if people want to go home temporarily from camp, obviously they'll return someday. We don't have people actually leave camp. That doesn't happen. We could very well plan out one of those as well. Although I figure I should probably get this a little bit more secure. So, door. We'll do... I think we'll just do something like this, honestly. Just a fence at the front of it with that there. And then we can bring a pathway down here. And that should be totally fine. Oh, that almost lined up perfectly there. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm not too worried about it getting a little bit asymmetrical on this side. Could bring that path over. Don't think I'm going to bother. But let me think. So, in terms of the parole office, which we are absolutely going to need, I'm not really sure where to put it. I guess we could hold off, probably. Probably not too big of a deal that we don't have it right now. And I guess what we could do is start putting in some foundations. Have I not put walls over here yet? I have put fences there. Okay. Let me go ahead and lay out the foundations for all of this. So this middle bit, brick, and then the extensions, concrete, just to have a little bit of differentiation there, just so it looks kind of neat. And we can totally afford to do that, so we will. As for the doors, I never remember what way they open, so I'm gonna hope that I'm doing this the right way. I can't even place them because the trees are in the way. Never mind. Let's just go ahead and prioritize the work that needs done there. Let's get all of my workers doing that over the pathways. Although the pathways are only going to get harder as time goes by because the fences are going to, or the trees are going to grow. The fences are going to grow. Yeah, good job, me. Really good job there. But yeah, we'll let them start building that. And we can go ahead and see how it's going to turn out. This is going to be quite the sizable structure. These are going to be pretty good. The prisoners actually really enjoy those. So that's something I'm kind of looking forward to, is seeing them use the cabins. And I've never really done this idea with 2 sets of cabins before. I usually just do 1 set of cabins, but I think having these big spaces in here means we can do like a common area. It means we could do a workshop if the campers get really excited about working, which they might. So I think there's some cool stuff we can do here, and I'm really excited to do it, honestly. I think this is going to be awesome.